Yes, it's always a privilege to bring the testimony, but the question was, who's got a testimony? Everyone's hand should have been up. But my testimonies started quite a number of years ago. I wasn't brought up religious. My parents never went to church or anything, and my mother actually was quite against the things of the Lord. And I didn't know any better. I left school, got a job, and about that time I changed my nationality because I'd still been a Dutch citizen. And then I decided to join the army, partly because I thought it would be a great adventure, partly because it was always something people in our family always did. My father had been in the army, grandfather, and it went on. So I joined the New Zealand Army. I started off as a Signals Corps, but I liked the idea of authority, and especially the thought of me being an authority. So I applied to join the military police and I was accepted. Whether that was a good thing or not, I'm not sure, because at 19 I was a military policeman. I held rank, but after a while I realised it was actually a bit of a vain thing. It wasn't as cracked up as I thought it would be. I got posted to Singapore, and that was a miracle in itself, because in the unit I was in, there were 3 people applied for one job in Singapore, and unfortunately I was the lowest in pecking order. The other 2 were more senior to me, so I thought the chances here are not very good. But the first guy, he fell off a motorbike and broke his leg, so he couldn't go. And the second one became ill, and they couldn't know what the problem was. So posting came up, I got it, which came with another promotion. So I was in Singapore, and I started attending a small local church in Singapore which claimed to preach the full gospel. Unfortunately, they were leaving some essential parts out. However, through another set of circumstances, an Australian military policeman was posted to the same section as I was, and one night shift he preached the full gospel to me. And I first rejected the things that he was saying because he was suggesting I wasn't saved. I look back and he said, yeah, he was right, but that's not how I saw it at the time. However, I searched the scriptures, I prayed about it, I received the Holy Spirit. Also was baptised, and that's where my walk started, and that happened about 1974. It's been an interesting walk so far. I've had a number of provisions, give thanks to the Lord. I've had a number of protections. One of them was, after I left the army and my contract had been finished with the army, I joined the New Zealand Police. I was at one stage on a crime squad, which is plainclothes and other guys that go around searching mainly for things like drugs and the like, kicking in doors, that sort of stuff. And I was actually quite good at that. There were other aspects of police work that maybe I wasn't quite so skilled at, I was getting myself into a house which was barred up was something I found good or easy to do. But also, after a while, you get a bit blasé and you start taking risks, or you don't see the dangers. And one day I was doing a search warrant, just 2 of us. We went up to this house, we were in plain clothes. I called out police, search warrant. There was no answer. I went to kick the door down. and you kick it at the lock, and that lock will always break, and the door will swing open. Well, it didn't happen that way. I kicked at the lock, and to my surprise, the lock stayed intact, but the door came off the hinges and swung around. And it swung around with such force, which surprised me, because I know how much force I'm applying to the door, but this door swung around with much more force than that, and which was fortunate because there was a guy standing behind the door with a baseball bat ready to hit me. And he got stunned because the door hit him, and he fell at my foot. And I just praise the Lord for that one, because the same week there was another policeman that was working on the same floor of the police station, and he walked into a chemist shop at night that had been broken into, and he did get hit and got hospitalised. I ended up leaving the police for a number of reasons. One, I wasn't getting to enough meetings, and I felt I should get to more meetings. Also, Sweeland used to worry about me. So I left the police, and I purchased a large truck, and I was operating as an owner-driver and contracting for a company. And I'm a person that's well organised and with set routines. I always start at 7 o'clock in the morning, on the time, and if I was the first one at the yard there, I'd unlock the gate, check my truck out, start it up, and if there's anyone else in the yard, I'd go and talk to them. And that was my routine. And because I knew when my next job would be coming up, and I had it all planned out. Unfortunately, or fortunately rather, one afternoon something broke on my truck and I couldn't use it. So I got the truck back to the yard, contacted the mechanic, but he wouldn't come in until 8 o'clock in the morning. So I said, okay, I'll see you there 8 o'clock in the morning. And so I wasn't there at 7, which is where I wanted to be. 7 o'clock that morning, one of the other drivers walks into the yard. He unlocks the door of his truck, starts his truck up, and he's killed by a bomb. And the truck was totaled, he was killed, but I wasn't there. So praise the Lord for that too. I've had a few injuries, some I would almost consider self-inflicted, but the Lord has healed me of those things, and I better finish. I've probably taken too much time.
Amen.